Welcome back to the Renegade Report. I'm Francis Mayer, and I am the Sports Information Director for the greatest community college athletics department in the known universe, Bakersfield College Athletics. And part of the reason is because we got guys like Coach Rich Hughes, the second Hughes to come through Bakersfield. The Hughes name is a basketball tradition at BC. Coach?
A tradition. Yeah, well, I guess Jeff. Yeah, Jeff was the first Hughes.
Is that your brother?
It is. Jeff.
Hot dog.
Jeff Hughes is my brother.
Yes, I did.
An assistant for I don't know how many years, but he was a head coach for 5 years.
Yes, he was.
So I'm just trying to follow in my big brother's, footsteps. So, and he was quite a player and even better coach. So
I have a feeling. Did he give you an inch when you guys were playing on the home court growing up?
No, there's 5 years difference. So I was always the little guy. So he'd beat me up pretty good. I think it toughened me up, kind of, That's why I'm a little crazy at times, getting hit in the head and on the arm and fouled, pushed to the side, toughened me up.
And
big brother.
Your workouts, just watching you do them, it makes me tired. So, yes, hats off to the other Coach Hughes. Coach, speaking of workouts, man, that had to be hard on your heart last night. That was a wild one. Steve Lynch, what did you tell me? We had. What was the action there in the fourth or in the second half?
They were up by 20 at one point, and it came down to the last-second three by Pierce that could have tied it. But, that was a crazy game considering statistically it was really wild. You don't see a team commit 2.5 times more turnovers than a team and win the game while they're holding the team to 28% shooting. And then it was a crazy game. It really was, but it was nice to see BC hold on and win it.
Conference opener.
Yeah, it was a big win for sure.
How was that to coach?
Well, we've played 19 games, so I've seen it before.
I've seen this before.
Yeah, it was. We had a 14-point lead at Oxnard, and we started turning the ball over, and they came back, tied us up in overtime. To force overtime, beat us. So it was similar to that. Luckily, the guy that took the three shooting about 20% from three. So
he's no touch.
I don't know if it definitely wasn't coaching, but the right guy took the three. So if our defense wasn't on last night, we would have lost. We would have lost easily because we just had way too many turnovers.
And Steve, you're a basketball guy, far more than I am. I love watching these guys because they're entertaining to watch. They're a lot of fun to watch. What are turnovers born of?
Well, I think, and I know Coach Hughes knows this, his team struggles a little bit against the press. We saw that against El Camino. Basically, that's the reason they lost that game. And then last night, until they start pressing, BC was blowing them out of the gym, and then they brought in the press, and that's when the turnovers really started happening, and that's when they got back in the game. And BC has a lot of talent, but they don't have a lot of guard. They got a lot of bigger guys. They got Murray, but they don't have a lot of great ball handlers in the starting lineup. And it's just one of those things. Every team has strengths and weaknesses, and sometimes they've struggled, and I'm sure Coach will get that straightened out as we move along here, but they just struggled a little bit against the press.
Is Lynch all wet, or what do you think? Do you agree with?
First thing I thought is isn't it ironic? Don't you think? Isn't that a song?
It's like rain on your wedding day.
Yes. Here we are. We were known my first few years as Steve was there. We just pressed and pressed and pressed, and in the last few years we've kind of gone away from it. And now our teams really don't handle the press very well. So we do struggle, which was evident against El Camino. And like Steve said last night, it wasn't a great press, but we just struggle, one, to make solid passes, two, to be in the right position. There were some instances where we looked good, but we definitely, when teams start to press us, even with 2-2-1 soft presses, we struggle at times, and it's just a constant battle. We keep working on it, but it's crazy to me because that's what we used to live on, is just pressing people to death, and this team can't do that. We're more of a half-court team, so when we play a team that's in the half-court, we're excited. When we play a team that's going to press us for most of the game, it can get a little crazy.
And Coach, what dictates that decision to be a press team or to be a half-court team? Is it the athletes? Is it?
Yeah, I think the last few years our depth hasn't been like it used to be. I mean, we used to have 10, to 13 guys that could play. And my best team, 30-3 team, I mean, we played all 15 guys. We didn't have a lot of, slippage when we went to the bench. This year's team, we've got a lot of guys back, so they have more of the experience. I think we're better that way. I think if we press, we're just going to wear ourselves out. And, we want to stick and play 50 feet instead of 90 feet, because 90 feet, if we play 90 feet, could get ugly for us.
And I'll tell you, as a fan, they're a lot of fun to watch. I mean, exciting things happen. Gallinado is fearless when it comes to attempting dunks. English is a very passionate guy. Teddy, how you doing? We're doing a show here. Hammonds is a very exciting player. They're fun to watch. JJ's great. Like, you don't know what's going to happen out there.
Yeah, it's a wide variety of guys. I mean, you talk about just statistics. I mean, Jalen English is leading the state in block shots at about 3 a game. Henry Gallinado is 11 boards. Like you said, he's a really great finisher around the basket with dunks. Last night he had 7 blocks, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, my
There was a
master
couple-
stat man here would know.
There was a couple filthy blocks in that game, though.
Yeah, he was big, and then JJ leads the state in assists, and then Tucker's a fabulous scorer as well, and Jamar is real exciting in the transition. So we got the guys that can and Shahada Camp comes in, and he didn't do his best last night, but he's been a really good scorer for us. So we're good. We can be good on offense. It's the nights where we're not good on offense is we've been bad on defense. Whereas last night we played really solid defense, in my opinion. We did a really good job, especially Jalen English on their number one scorer, Jordan Newt. So if we could just get more consistent with the defense and the turnovers, I think our record will definitely be more on the plus side than the negative side, and we're floating with that negative side right now.
Well, and gosh, you played a team. Was Cerritos 16-4, and you were right there with them.
Again, matchups is key. We knew they were going to play half court. We felt like we could match up with them. We felt whatever their record is, we knew we could play with them. I think we know we can play with anybody, but matchups are important to us, and they didn't impress. And we did a good job. Hopefully none of our conference opponents are listening to this, because our Achilles heel is the press,
But I feel like your talent. I mean, even if they were listening, your talent. I feel like we haven't seen the best of this team. Steve, do you think we have?
Oh no, I think this team is going to get better as the season. I mean, I know we're already more than halfway through. Yeah, but I mean, I think they still can perform better. I know Coach is on them every day, and they're going to get better and better as the year goes on. The one thing I noticed about this team, very athletic, not a great three-point shooting team, and I noticed last night with Inigenberg that their teams are really locking him down. I mean, trying to lock him down. I mean, what can you do to try to, to get him open looks? Because it looked like last night there was a real focus by them to keep him from, getting the ball in three-point range.
Well, it's inevitable, and I've kind of told him, he's 18 a game, but he shoots 47% from 3, which is probably one of the state leaders, 90% from the line. So everybody knows, you just can't help. It's like last night we zeroed in on number 1, who was shooting 40-something% from 3. We knew we couldn't give him an open look. So that's going to happen. Things with him, we tell him, we'll try to run you some plays to get you some shots, but you got to find ways to score, off the offensive glass, running in transition, because Murray will find you in transition, and he's one guy I'm okay with shooting threes in transition, because he shoots such a high percentage. But that's the good thing about being one of the top scorers, is you're going to get the other team trying to stop you.
Yeah, that shot he made at the first half buzzer turned out to be big too.
And Tuck's not just a 3-shooter. A lot of people, zero in on that. In high school, he was better inside of the 3, but he's worked on his 3, and now it's just at a phenomenal number. Sometimes I think he settles for it. He's really good on pull-ups and putting the ball on the floor and separating from guys. He can hit those shots as well. So he's kind of an overall shooter. He can shoot a lot of different types of shot, not just a standstill 3.
Yeah, and the free throw line, he was at the
He's
line
great.
of one, and I turned to my son, and I go, these are both going in, and both shots, neither one even hit the rim. He's like, swish, swish.
One of the plays we run, we call it Iverson because they used to run for Allen Iverson, and we run it, one, to try to get him a shot, but a lot of times guys hold him. So when he comes around, especially when we're in 1-on-1 and we run it and they grab him, the refs see it and call it. I mean, it's automatic 2 points. It's a nice, quick little play to get him to the line because he runs his route hard and guys will try to hold him. And he's money at the line. I mean, it's easy offense for us.
I think he's above 95% or whatever this year.
Yeah, he's good.
Is it a fun coaching problem to have so many dynamic athletes at your disposal? I mean, like you have a lot of weapons, and the Renegades can hurt you in a lot of different ways, it seems like.
And I think the biggest problem or the biggest issue with this team is just the personalities and trying to keep them even keeled. We tend to get, when things go bad, we tend to separate, and that's kind of our biggest problem, outside of, turnovers and things like that. It's just us staying together and staying the course and, believing in one another, and even though we make mistakes, stay together. And that's just, day to day and game to game. And last night I was proud of them because it did go south. And we did have moments where we kind of separated, but when it counted, we stood together and were able to come out with the victory. And they needed it. I mean, that was a confidence booster for us because we have lost a few games that way.
No, and you look at those and you think, man, we have had some close ones, or we have had some ones where the momentum seemed to have turned, and like you said, we're flirting with 500 right now, but we're not too many points away from having a much better record, right?
Well, the last 2 weeks have been good, so we, usually we do this anyway, but we said we're 0-0 right now. We're 1-0. That's all we're worried about is conference. So, we got a road game here on Saturday. We've been to the gym before in Santa Monica. We played up there. It's a shooter's gym, and I know we got some confidence last night. Now we just got to build upon it and try to three-peat.
Coach, I know with the league being so small, you only have 8 conference games this year. And you guys lost a lot of close non-conference, so you're probably not going to get to 20 wins. Yeah. And even if you sweep, I don't think you mathematically can. How important is it that you win the conference to get to the playoffs? I mean, do you think there's any chance if you don't win the league that you can make it as at large, or is this one of those things where you guys know we have to win the league if we want to get in the playoffs?
It's too early to tell. I mean, obviously, winning the league is it's done deal.
That'd be a three-peat.
But if we don't win league, it's going to be up to how the other conferences finish, because a lot of conferences, have certain rules where teams can't get placed in front of others. Our non-league record going into it's not very good. So if you look at it now, it would be tough, but there could be a lot of things that happen with the other teams' conferences that may get us squeezed in if we don't win league. But we don't want to talk about that stuff. We want to talk about winning.
No, here's what I really want to talk about.
I mean, do you guys go and say we're going to win league, and that's the big focus?
That's our goal.
Yeah,
I don't. Right now, I don't talk about the playoffs. I think that's
playoffs.
Yeah, we don't. We're not. We're just going game to game.
I got to give you a Jim Moore on that one.
Yeah, it's just game to game and
tie to tie and sport coat to sport coat.
Yeah, I mean, focus on that. The playoffs is, as we call it, is dessert anyway. So if we don't get dessert, then,
playoffs.
That's the way it goes.
We need to get Coach a playoffs button in Jim Mora's voice.
Oh.
Coach, you looked sharp last night. It's a good suit. But I think we agreed that the tie was a little muted.
It wasn't bright enough? Is that what you're saying? Not enough flair?
Look, listen. Okay, you're the only guy I know who can sell that red sport coat, and you wear it well. What's on the docket for the next home game? You got a couple?
Oh, that's too far. That's too far in advance. But you did put a challenge to me. You did challenge me last night, so I might have to, do a little bit of extra, not shopping, but extra looking through my closet and see if I get something that will, stand out for you.
Where do you get a red sport coat, by the way? I mean, is that out of the Bobby Knight collection?
Oh, I think that's a custom job. It fits him like a glove.
Oh, you got to look hard. It's not the easiest one to find, but I have one, so that's it. But
it's a good one.
Hey, I can't say anything.
At least
in the
it's not
70s.
white. At least it's not a white suit like Rick Pitino. He used to wear a white suit. I mean, that's a little bit.
That's
too
okay.
much
In the
for that.
'70s, I had a yellow full-length suit, so
Did you?
yeah.
Oh, you know what? Coach Hughes would enjoy some of those photographs of you leaning against the car with the white T-shirt. See, he had a nice little afro. About 1982.
I had one too.
Pictures, or it did not happen.
No, as you can see, no.
We're gonna email your brother. I think there's an afro in your past, and I want to see it. Coach Hughes, we wish you the best of luck. You got an exciting basketball team, and folks, if you haven't been out to see them yet, you're really missing out. They are fun to watch. Gallinado has his own cheering section, which is exciting, and you don't know what's going to happen with these guys. They are not going to rip you off. That game's going to be interesting until the final buzzer.
A lot of local kids too to come watch. Tucker Hennigenberg, Stockdale, Henry Gallinado, Cesar Chavez. They're playing a lot of minutes. We have some other guys on the bench that get in here and there, but those two guys play a lot. And if you're a local kid, it's a good place to go. You can get a chance to play against better competition every night. So
What's your tally right now with getting guys moved on and getting their education paid for? You got to be up around 50.
50, somewhere around there, 45 plus. I don't know if it's in the 50, but it's close, So we last year we had two. We didn't have a big class last year. I think two moved on to play. One just went to school. But
And DeAndre Dixon is having a nice
great
little
year.
career.
Yeah, they're number 2 in the Western region right now. He's about 18 points, 9 rebounds, and they're first in their conference at Western Washington in the GNAC. I don't know what the Greater Northwest Athletic Conference.
And one of my favorite stories, Bam is up in Saskatchewan. I mean, I feel like that's a comedy waiting to be written. He's got to be having a great time.
He's doing great, and he enjoys it up there. He's having a blast, and it's good to see. He's had some articles done on him, and just a real success story. Who would have ever thought? And
That hoser would have done so good up there, you bitcha. Ooh.
that was
Bam.
good. That was good, Francis.
Thank you.
You got a little talent there.
Yeah, well, there's one, finally. You can catch up on all the Renegade information and get that men's basketball schedule so you can catch some conference action in the Gill on the Hill, the Palace on Panorama, the Gill Bishop Sports Center. And we like to keep the temperature even in our gymnasium because it's the sporting thing to do. We'd like to thank our maintenance and operations crew, including Aaron, for keeping our facility sparkling clean and at a nice, playable temperature. It's a good facility.
It is. It's nice.
It's pretty hot in here, though. I mean, I'm about ready to.
It's
if I had a
getting
tank
hot
top
in here.
If I had a tank top, it's about
Then you
tank
would-
top weather in here.
You would shame me, and I don't want that to happen. Coach, thanks for being on the show. You and Coach Chavez are doing a great job with the team. We're going to have Coach Paula Dahl on next week, and her team is grinding and doing some neat things. So thank you for tuning in. Steve and I are going to go over to Jerry's and have a slice, but for the rest of you, visit us on GoGades.com or Bakersfield College Athletics on YouTube, and you can see who Coach Hughes thinks is the greatest Laker of all time. It might surprise you. It probably won't. And on behalf of Athletic Director
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
Magic Johnson,
Jerry West, Elgin Baylor.
Shaq, Kobe, James Worthy.
Leading scorer in the NBA is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, but he had his best years with the Bucks when he averaged 34, 35 points a game. By the time he was with the Lakers, he was already. Magic's the greatest Laker of all time.
I can't debate that. That's pretty good. I think so.
Magic,
Kareem. It's a good debate. The
It's a great
logo,
debate.
Jerry West. Don't forget about Elgin Baylor. I mean, come on.
But Elgin never won a
I wouldn't put
championship. He
Kobe in
retired. He retired early in the season in '72 before they went on to win the championship.
You know, my favorite on-court moment involving Kobe has a Bakersfield connection. Do you know what it is?
No, I don't.
Chris Childs.
Oh yeah, there
Set
you
that
go.
down
You're
right
reaching
there.
Out there. Yeah.
Got a little dose of Bakersfield, he did.
Yeah.
On behalf of Athletic Director Sandy Taylor and President Sonia Christian, I'm Francis Mayer. Thanks for watching the Renegade Report. We'll see you next week.
Go Gades!
And no Kobe. I love it. It's great.